we went through the better performing specs in 10.2 in the PTR after testing the heroic bosses, and the outlier, by far the better performer, was Outlaw Rogue. We also had a couple of well-performing DPS specs for melee, like Red Paladin, like Enhancement Shaman, even Fury Warrior, but when it came to ranged DPS, we found more disappointments than surprises. We saw Fire Mage, Frost Mage, Augmentation, Devastation, Demo, Destro all doing quite poorly on the PTR. We did, however, also find an outlier when it came to ranged DPS in terms of performance, which is Beastmastery Hunter. You could see from the logs, even starting from the first boss, that Beastmastery Hunter was amongst the highest performing DPS specs and the highest of the ranged DPS, over to Igira, which is a pure single target fight, and most of the top logs were Beastmastery Hunters there as well. Council, which is a spread cleave fight, obviously dominated by Balance Druid, still had Beastmastery as one of the highest performing DPS specs. Smolderon, back to single target, back to Beastmastery Hunter being the highest performer, over to Volcaros, and Beastmastery is still the third to fourth better performing spec. So in the raid, they were the overall better raid performer. Even in Mythic Plus, going through multiple, plus 20 keys, you had Beastmastery Hunter being very competitive across multiple dungeons against multiple other specs. Now, the relevant part about this boost in performance of Beastmastery is, of course, the fact that they are receiving significant changes in 10.2. Not necessarily changing the way they play, changing the buttons they press, but they are being made much stronger. The first point that is very noticeable by just going to the talent tree, as usual we have our raid build for Beastmastery right now and the Mythic Plus AoE build. You can see that if you go from the live version to the 10.2 version of the build, you will find that suddenly there is one extra surplus talent on Thrill of the Hunt and one extra surplus talent on Dire Command. The reason for that is that in 10.2 Blizzard is giving you 2 free talents extra to spend, because now Thrill of the Hunt will only have 2 talents required, and then Dire Command will only have 2 talent points required. So this already is a major buff because it frees up more talents to spend. Yes, Thrill of the Hunt goes from a maximum of 9% more crit to 8% more crit, but it's a very, very minor nerf compared to being able to spend 1 more talent point. It does still have the slight annoyance for Beastmastery Hunter, which is visible if we go through the 2 different builds, that when you go for the single target build and then the AoE build, you can see the lack of the whole line of AoE for Beastmastery in single target, and if you want to go for AoE, you have to take these 4 talent points. So you continue to have this lock of 4 talent points you must spend if you want to AoE, because you need multi-shot to proc Beast Cleave, and then you need Kill Cleave to further empower Beast Cleave. That is still a thing that is remaining in the build, but you have other quality of life additions. Number 1, you are getting rid in 10.2 of Aspect of the Wild, which is this talent that was very barely, if ever, used by hunters because deemed too weak. Now it's being replaced by Savagery, which is going to make your kill command 10% stronger and make Barb Shot last 2 seconds longer. The extra duration on Barb Shot is not that relevant in the sense that now it goes to 10 seconds, while Thrill of the Hunt still only has an 8-second cooldown. So previously you were keeping them up both at the same time since they had the same duration. This one is somewhat desyncing them a little bit, but it's still a better change than having the Aspect of the Wild cooldown. You are then getting rid of the dual choice node for the talent. Both Master Handler and Snakebite are going away, and they're being replaced by Master Handler, updated. Each time Barb Shot deal damage, the cooldown of kill commands is reduced by 0.5 seconds. This is very good, because initially you think this is dumb because you have Barb Shot on 1 target, therefore it just means that every time it ticks, you get a half-second reduction on kill command. However, this is much more powerful in AoE, because now you can spread your Barb Shot on 3 different targets, for example, and gain a 1.5 second cooldown reduction on your kill command every time they do damage, which significantly increases the damage of your kill command. It's good because it increases, you know, the skill expression, the skill ceiling of a Beast Mastery Hunter, even though perhaps in a way you might not like, which is basically managing multi-dotting essentially for Beast Mastery, but it does give you more avenues for having better results if you play better with this talent. Then there is the other change, which is the Call of the Wild talent is being changed significantly. For starters, it goes from having a 3-minute cooldown to having a 2-minute cooldown. And the base ability that Call of the Wild already had added functionality. Each time Call of the Wild summons a pet, the cooldown of Barb Shot and Kill Command are reduced by 50%. On top of that, you have the follow-up talent, which instead of being Wild Instincts and Blood Frenzy of your old Call of the Wild, they are now changed, where for Wild Instincts, while Call of the Wild is active, each time you kill command, your kill command target takes 3% increased damage, stacking up 10 times. And then Blood Frenzy is that when Call of the Wild is active, your pets have the effects of Beastcleave, and each time Call of the Wild summons a pet, all of your pets are going to stomp. This is basically very clear. The Wild Instincts is for single target, is for stacking up damage over a single target, while Blood Frenzy is for AoE, for having Beastcleave AoE on your pets, on your summoned pets, and then for having them cast Stomp for more AoE damage. So it's a very simple choice of whether or not you want more single target or AoE damage. This is very good. It's very good because it lines up BM with a potent 2-minute cooldown now. Beast Mastery for a long time has not really been considered a spec with any relevant cooldown. Their only cooldown used to be Bestial Wrath, but Bestial Wrath was active so often that it was barely even counted as a cooldown. It was basically just part of your rotation. Now, though, you do have a proper, significant cooldown as a Beast Mastery Hunter. This goes very hand in hand with the tier set bonuses of the next patch. Beast Mastery gets Bestial Wrath summoning a Dire Beast for 15 seconds, and of course summoning a Dire Beast will be synergizing with all the new talents or rework talents, which will give you an extra effect whenever you are summoning a beast. And then Dire Beast now obey your kill command and can gain Beastcleave. So once more synergy and more power to your summoned beasts. Basically, you are playing Zookeeper in the next patch with BM Hunter. There are already some clips and some demonstrations of how BM might even go up as far as summoning 7 different pets during their high cooldown phases. Now, this is of course somewhat streamlining even more their damage profile to make it even more centered, of course, around kill command, especially because now your Dire Beast is also going to be doing kill command damage as well. So your overall kill command damage gets to be very, very high as part of your rotation. There are, of course, still some issues with the build itself. Now, you still have ways to change your build. This is, for example, the raid build of Beast Mastery Hunter, which is obviously not going down this route because this route was weak, and the AoE build of Beast Mastery was also not going down this route. They were still going down their AoE side of the tree. They were taking Brutal Companion for more AoE damage and still ignoring this part. As I said, the benefit of this change is that by being able to get 2 free points from only costing 2 points for Thrill of the Hand and only costing 2 points for Dire Command, you now have more freedom to go elsewhere. If we took the single target build of BM, we move it into 10.2, we get rid of these 2 talent points. You can now get rid of Dire Pack, put the point in Savagery, get rid of Dire Beast, put the point in Master Handler, and in Call of the Wild, and in one of these 2, whether it's single target. In this case, it's a single target build, so you go for Wild Instincts and change it this way. As long as this entire line with Call of the Wild cooldown plus Wild Instincts and Master Handler and Savagery are out DPSing Dire Beast into Dire Pack, this is going to be an easy change to your talent build for single target, essentially ignoring the AoE line. For AoE, it would be still somewhat similar. You would have to get rid still of a few extra talent points, but you still have this line easily accessible for Beast Mastery. You still have some issues in your talent tree, not everything can be perfect. As we mentioned, the value of your kill command is skyrocketing, even in AoE, where Beast Cleave obviously gains much more value than in single target. You still have a very high value on your kill command, so the value of everything else goes down. You have, for example, spells like Serpent Sting, with the follow-up empowering talent, things like Arctic Bola, which is activated by Cobra Shot, is gonna be very, very weak. Same goes for the follow-up options of Explosive Shot and Barrage. Plenty of other talents that nobody even likes, like Steel Trap, or things like a Murder of Crows. Other talents that have nothing to do with kill command, talents like Kindred Spirits, talents like Cobra Senses to reduce the cooldown of kill command if you cast Cobra Shot, things like Cobra Sting to have a chance to make your next kill command consume no focus. All of these things lose value because you are being pushed away from casting things like Cobra Shot. As you can see here, this is a 3-minute fight and you're casting Cobra Shot 30 times, so that's 30 times in 180 seconds. That is very, very little. You know, how good does this talent look like? While Bestial Wrath is active, Cobra Shot resets the cooldown of kill command. Yes, but you are casting Cobra Shot once every 6 seconds, once every 8 or 9 seconds. It doesn't look nearly as enticing anymore because you have pushed away the power of Cobra Shot by starting to cast it less and less due to the power of kill command. So while the talent tree has been empowered heavily with the synergy around your Dire Beast, as well as giving you an actual proper cooldown as a Beast Mastery Hunter, you are getting a bit more streamlined down the power of kill command and weakening the rest of your kit, you know, the rest of the synergy that might have existed in your kit. We mentioned Serpent Sting, we mentioned Cobra Shot. What about Kill Shot? You know, Kill Shot nowadays is losing even more value because now all of the synergy is around your kill command. So if you didn't already mind playing around kill command as a build for Beast Mastery Hunter, at the moment you are simply, very simply, clearly stronger than where you are right now in 10.1.7. You are doing not only you are straight up doing more damage as a spec, but now you have better options. Now you have a proper 2-minute cooldown that you can use and be powerful with. You also have this 2-minute cooldown which can be specced into either being a strong single target cooldown or a strong AoE cooldown, depending on which way you want to go. You still have, being a Beast Mastery Hunter, you have pretty good scaling with your secondary stats going down the tier, going down the item levels. You have now still a pretty decent upgraded path down this right side for this entire set of talents. It's not that it's gonna feel bad because one of these talents is terrible, so it's gonna feel like a waste to get there. They're all actually quite powerful talents, even taken by themselves, taken in isolation, so they are still good picks for your talent options. So increasing your overall damage while also giving you better damage profile, because now you have a much stronger choice in going down a single target route or an AoE route, which can make you more powerful in either direction, is at the moment one of the better results in terms of spec changes for the next patch. When it comes to Ranged DPS specs, Beast Mastery Hunter at the moment is the outlying better performer. Of course, with future changes, things might of course continue to evolve. We might have some nerfs, maybe even to the spec itself, or other buffs to other specs that at the moment we're not doing nearly as well, that might end up passing Beast Mastery in terms of damage. But for now, these are the results. The results of the addition of this tier set and the results of the addition of these changes to Beast Mastery Hunter. So this is the state at the moment of the Hunter spec right now. Of course, we're not talking about the other Hunter spec, Marksmanship, because it's doing terribly right now and embarrassingly has to fight with tanks to do more damage than them in the PTR. So at the very least for Beast Mastery, things right now are looking quite good for the next patch. So with this overview of the Beast Mastery Hunter in 10.2, we are going to leave each other on this Wednesday. Thanks, of course, as usual, to all of the Patreon supporters who are clearly all rich and can splurge money away like it's nothing, but you can also support completely for free. You can like and comment down below on this video, as well as subscribing to the channel itself. Much appreciated nonetheless. So, with these things out of the way, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, yeah, sure, I don't mind Beast Mastery Hunters being meta. It's been a while since I've seen them last. For a bit, I will allow it.